Hello, everyone. I know it's not his birthday anymore, but I didn't really have the voice that day to talk about certain things. And then some other big things happened, so here I am. So, the robbery. What do I think of it? Allegedly, a robbery took place in Italy, perpetrated against the widow of Chris Cornell over a watch that cost roughly £60,000. That's British money. That's worth more than American money. Last time I checked, I haven't checked recently. I assume it's still worth more. Because London is the financial center of the world, whether you believe that or not. And how do I know that? Well, the British pound is one of the strongest currencies, and it always will be, not the American dollar. That's how I know where the financial center of the world is, or at least one of them. So this event allegedly took place. There were articles that we found in, I believe, 3, 4 outlets, 5 outlets, none of them reputable, none of them major, in my opinion. And here's the point I want to make about it. Whether it happened or not is not the point. The point is, again, it's out there in the consciousness. And I'm asking the question, what is the purpose? So when you read the various articles, and especially the one, the Greek City Times, that decided they're going to use a picture of Georgie again, you get a sense of things. So what were the purposes of the articles? We know this is a publicity family. We know they pay for publicity. They've done it with Brett over at Alt Nation many, many times. They've done it in other places. They put articles in Page 6, which are pure publicity dumpsters, according to many celebrities over the years that I've listened to. When they get in trouble, they get their agent to put a story on Page 6 to help them out with their image. Happens every day, all day. So these are the type of publications we'll most likely see stories like this that appear to be publicity driven. Why do I say it appears to be publicity driven? I'm not going to read you the article. That's not important. Go read it for yourself. There were 3 main topics of discussion in the article. Of course, they did the background stuff with Cornell and how he died and stuff in several of the pieces, and who Cornell was and all that. Chris Cornell. But there were 2 other points made in the pieces that appeared to me like the people behind the pieces really wanted these points in there. That's why I think this was for publicity. Does that mean the event didn't happen? No, not necessarily. I don't know the answer to that question. What I do know, or what I think I know, or what appears to be, are the purposes for the words they paid outlets, or they gave outlets, and the pictures they gave outlets to print. This is what they do. They've done it over and over again. This is their bread and butter. This is their thing. So the other 2 points were, 1, they're vacationing with the Hankses. That's Tom Hanks and Rita, his wife. And 2, the robbery. And 3, I forget what the other one was right now. I guess the Chris Cornell background stuff. So they wanted the world to know about the robbery that allegedly took place. God knows what that's about, or what's behind that. Who the hell knows with these people? And the other was to let the world know, it appears to me, because I know this family, I know how they operate publicity-wise. I've been a target of it. Behind the scenes. Well, not all behind the scenes, publicly as well. By one member. Anyway. The other members know better than to say my name. They stick to the plan. The obvious plan. Anyway, the point, it seemed really important to certain people to put out the information that Chris Cornell's widow was chilling with the Hankses. And that's why they were over there. And that's why they got robbed while shopping. Okay. What's behind that? I've been thinking about this for days now. And thinking about the whole friendship with the Hankses and stuff. And we've been researching that a little bit. What's out there publicly regarding these people hanging out? Because I always thought over the years, whenever the Hankses would come up, I thought to myself every time, how come there's no pictures of them chilling together? Chris, his widow, Tom Hanks and his wife, where are these pictures of them all chilling together at? I never see them. Yet they're supposed to be friends all the time. So that made me wonder a little bit. And it made me ask the question. I'm just asking the question. How good of friends are these people? Because I've defended Tom Hanks many times in the past. And I don't know the man. He just exudes a certain humbleness and niceness. Kind of like Chris did. They're very similar in that way, in my opinion. They kind of exude it. You kind of just sense it from them. And I'll explain that further. Give you character examples. So I just get this sense from Tom that he's just a nice guy. Funny guy, charming guy, interesting guy. Brilliant actor, A-list, marquee celebrity. Can't take that away from Tom. A-list. A-plus list. Brilliant actor, comedian, etc. The guy does it all. He's impressive and he seems nice and humble. So my point is, I've defended him many times over the years when people come with this bullshit, Tom Hanks is a satanic pedophile. Fuck out of here. Right-wing grifter. Because that's all that comes from. And there's no evidence of it whatsoever. Yet people spout it. And this website lets them stay online. And Tom Hanks doesn't go after him. You notice that? They get to stay up. For decades. Talking about shit I saw back in the 90s, for fuck's sake. Or early 2000s on this website, and still today. So those people get to stay up. Because calling Tom Hanks a satanic pedophile, I guess, is not considered dangerous by this website, or defamation, or anything. They just let it glide, let it slide. And Tom doesn't go after these people. I've never heard of it or seen it. Why? Because Tom doesn't take it seriously, doesn't give a fuck, I assume. Anyway, so I've defended this man over, and I've used him as an example of just blatant, outright, grifting lies about celebrities. He's a good example. I don't think Tom Hanks is a satanic pedophile. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you on that stance you have, based on nothing. So I've defended the man over the years, and recently I've been thinking, well, they just said they were hanging out together the other day during a robbery or something. And they were vacationing together. So I wondered, like, how... I've defended this man for years, and he's friends with these people? But then I asked, well, how good of friends really is he? Is he afraid to associate his face and name with them? And I know what people are going to say. Well, he did that one video to help sell Chris's single. Oh, and he showed up at the benefit concert, did a little oratory, which is cringe as fuck. Because he didn't want to be there, is my opinion. That's what it looked like to me. That's the little piece of the benefit thing that I even saw, was Tom Hanks talking. The vibe I got is he didn't want to be there. That's not a slight on Tom Hanks. You'll understand where I'm going with this. I'm not here to insult Tom Hanks. That's not what I'm trying to do. I could just tell he didn't want to be there. It wasn't his thing. It's not what he really wanted to be associated with. I got that vibe from him, and that's no slight on Tom. I understand why. Totally understand why. Believe me. So yes, Tom did those things, but I'm talking about what we hear about all the time. Them vacationing together, them hanging out together. Where are the pictures? We looked, we can't find them. So I came to the conclusion, and I'll give you more supporting dialogue for that, that he don't really want to be associated with these people. And by these people, I think you know who I mean. Despite press releases paid for and distributed by a certain state, bragging that they're vacationing, they really need the world to know that. You know why they need the world to know that, in my opinion? Because no one gives a fuck. No one cares who Chris's widow is vacationing with. They had to work that into a robbery story. Did you ever ask yourself that? Why are they working in they're vacationing with the Hankses in a robbery story? Oh, because it's about publicity, that's why. It's not about a robbery, it's about publicity. And they needed a little publicity, in my opinion, because a new single's coming out. And I've heard a piece of it. And it's god-awful. Because what appears to be happening to me is, since Chris Cornell died, they're taking any vocal track they have, putting behind it the cheapest, most bargain basement computer-generated music or whatever music they can find for a cheap price. That's what appears to be happening to me with all the singles. That's why they're horrible. I mean, it takes a lot of work to ruin a Chris Cornell vocal. It really does. These people do it effortlessly. It's amazing. It's over and over again. Just shitting on his legacy. Shitting on it. With these releases. Bargain basement releases, by the way. I can tell by the background. What's in the background? Easy to tell for a guy like me. I don't know, maybe they think they'll just sell, but here's the thing. How this relationship, part of the relationship with the Hankses and the Cornells, took place before Chris died, of course. That's a stupid thing to say. Sorry. I don't have a script here. So, part of the origin, or part of the story of the friendship between the Hankses and the Cornells was Rita, Tom's wife, Rita Wilson, I guess decided to have a singing career. Okay. She asked a lot of people to sing with her, I guess professional musicians, different musicians of note. Everyone told her no. Well, one day she asked Vicky, I don't know if Vicky was on a show that Rita was hosting or something, how exactly it happened, but Rita asked Chris Cornell's widow, can Chris do a song with me? Okay, now you got Chris's wife coming to him because a friend of hers, get where I'm going with this? Asked Chris's wife to ask him if he'll, the best male singer on the planet in history, if he'll sing a song with Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks' wife. What's Chris gonna say to his wife's friend? No, I don't want to do that. I have no interest in that. Of course he's not going to say. I said earlier, Chris was a nice, humble guy. In my opinion, despite some things we've found out over the years. He always kind of exuded that for me. When I would see him on stage or whatever, in interviews, etc. He seemed like a nice, humble guy. The same way Tom Hanks does. Same thing. So, Chris has his wife, via a friend of hers, asking him, will you do a song with Tom Hanks' wife? What's he going to say? Because Chris is a nice guy, remember? No. Of course. He did it for his wife. He did it, for his wife's friend. He did it to be a nice guy. Because I guarantee Chris didn't wake up that morning and say, wow, I can't wait to sing a song with Rita Wilson. That it was his idea. That it was, you know what I'm trying to say? That was obviously not something he was planning on doing in his life. He got asked for a favor by his wife for a friend of his wife. So he did it, obviously. I've heard the song. I've heard it. So later, after Chris dies, now I'm picturing a scene because it was on video. Tom Hanks was on video. It was cringe as fuck. I could tell Tom was uncomfortable. I could tell Tom was being jabbed to do it. Kind of like Chris was being jabbed to record that song. What was obviously asked of Tom Hanks that day, while he was vacationing, it appeared, years ago, after Chris's passing. Obviously, Chris's widow asked Rita if Tom could record a video telling people to buy Chris's single that the estate was putting out. Now, the image I have in my head, despite it not being on camera, is two women sitting there that are friends asking another A-lister or big-timer to do a favor for them. And the guy was uncomfortable, but he's a nice guy. So he did it. Tom could barely remember what he was supposed to say on camera and the name of a song or something. And it kind of gave the impression to me, and I'm not blaming Tom for this again, this is no slight on him. It kind of gave the impression that Tom and Chris weren't really that close. But Rita and Tom and Chris's widow were the closer two, or the friends. That's what it appeared to me. Because Tom could barely even remember what to say or what he was supposed to say. Obviously being shited on, or whatever the proper word is, egged on, pushed on by his wife and her friend. Remember, Chris did a big favor for them, for the Hankses, and for Rita, by recording a song. Who wouldn't love to record a song with the greatest male vocalist that ever lived? I know I would have. I would have loved to have that opportunity. That's a once-in-a-lifetime golden ticket type opportunity to the chocolate factory. That doesn't come along for, pretty much the entire population. That will never come along. So remember, Chris did that favor. Now here's turnaround. Chris's widow asking, hey, could you plug Chris's single in a short video, which was very cringe. We just watched it again. I totally forgot about it because I wasn't keeping track of this relationship between these two couples. I knew a little bit, but we took a look at it recently because I was just wondering, because I've been defending Tom Hanks for years against psycho right-wing grifters that websites love to keep up all day, every day, until the lawsuits start rolling, until the defamation judgments of $1 billion come in. Then all of a sudden they got to axe them. Never cared before, though. Too busy focusing on me, who doesn't get defamation lawsuits or judgments filed or executed against them. Ever. Anyway. So Tom returns the favor in very cringe-worthy fashion, and I don't blame Tom one bit. He got put on the spot. He obviously got asked by other parties to do that. Okay, great. Here's another thing I noticed about the video. The other two people in the story weren't in the video, conveniently. And I wonder about that. What I'm trying to say, from what I've seen of the friendship, it's almost as if Tom does not want his name associated with that family. Ever. Because I don't see the pictures. I don't see them talking about it. I don't see Tom talking about it. The only time I ever hear about it is when Chris's widow pays a paper to write that they were vacationing with the Hankses, because she desperately needs the world to know that. Why? Because no one gives a fuck, man. No one cares. So you got to pay for those stories to be put out for publicity purposes. I thought the story was about a robbery. Why is there a bunch of other paragraphs about vacationing with people and all this? I don't get it. Because it seems to me from what I've read, again, that this was more about publicity than a robbery. That's what it appears to me. The kind of sad part is, though, that despite it appearing that Tom doesn't even want his name associated with those people, except as a favor to his wife to do a benefit concert and a video. Other than that, there's like nothing. And we all know who asked Tom to do those things. To shoot the video and to show up at the benefit concert. And I understand why Tom doesn't want to be associated with those people. That's an A-list marquee celebrity. Those people aren't. And there's a lot of other baggage that comes with associating with them, isn't there? Of course there is. Otherwise, there'd be pictures of Tom and Rita and Vicky and Chris all over the place. Or Vicky and Georgie and Rita and Chris all over the place, and there's not. They'll probably release some now. But there wasn't before. And what does that tell me? My opinion. How do I assess that situation? Well, I assess it as Tom doesn't want his name associated with those people. That's how I assess the situation. And they have to force him to do the video to hawk the single. And they have to force Chris to record her song. Two nice guys, Tom and Chris, say, okay, we'll do it. That's what I get from the whole thing. And the saddest part is how desperate they are to let the whole world and us know that they're vacationing with the Hankses, because no one cares. It's sad they got to pay for that. You know? Imagine that's your life. You hang out with this A-list celebrity sometimes, or their wife, probably mostly. Because Tom got important shit to do. He A-list, baby. And that doesn't mean he's better than anyone as a human. It just means he's A-list. He's sought after. Everybody wants Tom Hanks for a movie, a show, whatever they can get him for. An interview? That's A-list. You don't get much more A-list than that. So I understand why he doesn't want his name right, but what the funny part is that they have to pay for publicity articles so they can tell the world that they're vacationing with the Hankses. And I don't even know if Tom's there because there ain't no pictures. For all I know, Tom's in New Zealand somewhere shooting a movie. I don't fucking know. If there were pictures all over the place, I wouldn't be able to say anything like this, would I? I wouldn't have a point, would I? Once again. But there's not pictures all over the place. So it seems more, the friendship is more about the women than the men. And whatever, you know, who cares? It seems that's what reality is. Otherwise, the one family wouldn't have to pay newspapers or cajole them and hand in pictures and stuff like that and hand them information. Where'd they get that information that they were vacationing with the Hankses? Who do you think gave them that information? They just found it? Of course they didn't. Someone wanted that information in there. That information probably more than all the other information, in my opinion. And it's just kind of funny and it's kind of sad that people live their life this way. They have to pay for publicity articles because the actual A-lister doesn't want his name associated with them. Watch tomorrow, since I said this, and they watch every damn thing I say. They all do. Watch, all of a sudden some pictures come out tomorrow, or some footage of them all chilling in Venice. on the fucking canal with a motherfucker with a pole. Don't do it, Tom. Don't do it. Whatever. You get the point of the video. Happy birthday, Chris.